Yeah, if you feel any sort of pain at all, don't drink anything. It's a bad move.
The school was doing an active shooter training. They were using airsoft guns and injured the teachers.
When I have no makeup on, I look like a tiny little Asian boy because I'm half Korean.
SaRaH Whittle.
SaRaH Whittle. SaRaH Whittle.
SaRaH.
Yeah, right, Sarah?
Uh-huh.
Look at me, Sarah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the SmoshCast. Today, I am joined by the very lovely Shayne Top.
Oh, yeah.
And a new guest to our podcast, Sarah Whittle. She, I guess the easiest way to explain you is Meme Queen.
Yes, yeah.
Of Smosh.
Yeah, well, I obviously have worked for Smosh for 3 years. I had a little gap in between the Defy shutdown and this new Smosh, but you guys know I produced for Smosh Pit for about 1.5 years, and then I moved over to our social endeavors on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, so right now I'm like the lord of all those.
Yeah, you're just on Facebook all day.
Wow, Shayne's just calling her out from the very start. Like, so you actually don't
But
do
for your
any work?
job. No,
That's
for your
not
job.
Wrong. Not wrong. I'm on
yeah.
Facebook all day, and I actually had a big meeting with people from Facebook yesterday,
She
so
met
I'm
Mark.
a big deal.
Yep,
The Zucks.
She talked to Zuckerberg.
and Tom from MySpace was there for some reason,
Yeah.
just hanging out in the background.
Well, yeah, he just is on
He
the
was like
streets.
this still with the thumbs up.
He's like, can I get a job?
it's the only way that
Please?
it's the only way that people remember him. He's like,
Remember me?
yeah.
I'm Tom from
Tom, I had a
MySpace.
bunch of friends on MySpace.
You remember when I lost a decade's worth of music?
Oh, I heard about that.
What?
How do you lose all the music? That was the day the music died. We're hitting it hard today.
Yeah, so MySpace lost like a decade's worth of music that was uploaded to their website,
no.
like 50 million songs or something like that.
I'm just shocked MySpace was still a thing at all.
Yeah.
Well,
I
they
thought
got
it was-
bought out by Justin Timberlake, and then
Yeah.
it never really
Whoa.
caught on again. So
R.I.P. MySpace. I hope Justin Timberlake's doing okay. I think he'll do all right.
Boy, I
think he's
sure hope he's
surviving.
doing fine.
Yeah, I
I
think he's
worry
doing
about him
fine.
sometimes. Sometimes before I go to bed, I'm like, I hope JT is all right.
Yeah. Well, the last thing I
Whatever
saw of him
guy.
was he was like wearing like a flannel in the woods. People are calling him like a lumberjack or something.
oh, a sexy
That's the last I heard
lumberjack.
of him. That was like 2 years ago. I think he's doing okay though.
I know he's doing very okay.
I know, we're friends.
We're friends. I text him all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sarah, like with your sort of involvement in Smosh now is sort of like, because we're like, oh, like we got this YouTube thing that's on lock, but then we have all these other things that I'm personally, and I think I've already mentioned on the SmoshCast before, but I'm personally very bad at social media. So it's nice that there's other people that are actually interested in it, that know how to use it a lot better than me.
I have a love-hate relationship with social media
We all
because
do.
I think it's very fun, and I think the essence of it's very fun, but then there's the dark underbelly and probably the long-lasting psychological effects that are happening to people who are obsessed with social media. Even me, I hate how much I'm on social media. I look at my phone way too much. I look at my computer way too much. And even when I'm not working, I'm like, oh, I wonder how that like meme we made is doing. And so I'm just checking up on that just to see and grab data, see what works out there. And I don't like it because I want to be more present and I want to be in people's faces. And I get like that people don't work in social media and they're still on social media a crap ton too. So
That's the crazy thing to me, because if I wasn't doing this and I was just still working at Chuck E. Cheese or whatever, I don't think I would be on Instagram trying to pump up my likes. But maybe I would. I don't know. But that, like, for me, like it's a tool. It's a way to like get what I'm doing out there.
yeah.
I'm not. Like, if I was just, like, working a regular job, if I was a lawyer or something, I wouldn't be trying to boost my engagement.
No, and for me, it's like professionally, obviously that's a goal of ours to be making good content. But personally, like my personal social media
It's all just your cats.
It's just my cats. It's just makeup. It's not like optimized for likes and engagement. Like it's really just kind of like a diary for me that's public, and I just do what I like, and occasionally stalk a couple people. That's
Yeah.
what my personal.
Well, and
that's what it's for.
And I can't
Stalking.
even stalk people on Instagram because I know that people are watching who I'm following. So like I can't follow like certain accounts that I think people are going to like judge me for. Or like I don't like to follow friends that aren't really like in what we do, because then I feel like people are going to see that I'm following these like people that aren't in YouTube and go bother them.
Yeah.
So I'm like very like mindful of like protecting the people that aren't in this stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure, because it is public. Like that's the thing that's like sometimes we don't all realize. It's super public. Like when I Snapchat my cats, I'm like, people are in my apartment right now watching my cats.
People are
like
seeing my life.
it is a very private yet public forum. So it's great because, like, Shayne and I are always on Twitter, like, exchanging jokes and stuff like that and DMing jokes. And it's fun on that front, but then there's the underbelly of it that's not great.
But also because I don't follow that many people, I actually don't really get that many updates on Instagram or Twitter, but I still find myself refreshing and like scrolling through, and it's so mindless because I'm not actually getting like anything new some of the times, but I'm like, I just feel the need to do this and I have no idea why. And I'm going to the Instagram Explore page, which is just a lot of hot garbage.
For me, it's all makeup and animals.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's like all my accounts I follow.
I'll find myself in that loop, which is I'll go on Twitter, be looking through the news, be looking through whatever, be like, oh, I wonder if there's anything interesting. Oh, there's something. Okay, blah, 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 done. Let me check Instagram. What's on here? And then I'll be like, oh, but now it's on Reddit. And then once I'm done with Reddit, I'll be like, now what's on Twitter at this point?
Yeah.
I'll go through that cycle.
You know what it is, and you're going through college for psychology or whatever you're doing. But you can probably speak to this, is because I find myself doing the same thing, just grabbing the phone and looking at it and opening everything up. And it's like, I think we're actually, as a people or generation, we're afraid to sit alone with ourselves. And we're afraid to just sit and think, maybe be present, maybe, think about life and where you are. And I think that is uncomfortable for most people. And social media has made it easier to distract yourself from that.
I think our time has become so much more precious because our brains have gotten so used to constant and rapid fire stimulation that it's why like entertainment is so short now. It's why the idea of like a 10-minute sketch or watching a movie or a TV show is harder because it's like, oh, do I want to commit to this? Whereas it's like, oh, I can commit to a 7-second thing though. And we're committing to constant 7-second, 5-second things over and over and over again.
That's why I feel like comedy movies are sort of dying because you're never, I was telling my friend this, like, you're never going to get the same amount of laughs out of an hour-long movie that you're going to get of an hour of looking at memes. Like, there's no way. Like, if you're looking at memes, scrolling through memes for an hour, your laughs per minute are going to be much higher than if you're watching any kind of comedy movie. No matter how good that movie is, you're not going to be laughing as much as an hour of just scrolling through, Reddit or whatever. But yeah, it's a little weird.
Maybe it'll swing. Maybe it'll, because everything's kind of like works in circular patterns. Like maybe it'll slow down soon.
No, memes forever. Memes will never die, Sarah.
It is kind of weird that like memes, I guess, are kind of like the democratization of comedy, though.
Oh,
because
100%.
Anyone's able to do it, and like people that are really proficient at it come from like the most random places.
Yeah. It's also fascinating how every social media platform has a very different personality.
Oh, 100%.
Very different. There's a lot of jokes about how Instagram is like, look at my life, it's so incredible. And Twitter's like, I hate myself and I hate everything.
Yeah.
It's very true. It's so weird.
That's true. Like Twitter is a lot of depression content.
It really is. And Instagram is the exact opposite. Nobody posts a post on Instagram being like, wow, I hate myself today. Everything sucks. But that's
they do. We just don't follow them.
Well, no, it's just like even when they do that, like I notice girls do a lot of like, hashtag no makeup selfies. Like, this is who I am. We need to accept who we are when we wake up. And I'm like, even that is manufactured. So I have a hard time. It is a highlight reel on Instagram.
Yeah, everything people post, it seems like on Instagram is some sort of way of like heightening yourself. Because even when it's like this is me without makeup, or this is me like in an awkward position, I'm like, yeah, but in a way it's still flattering. Or even if it isn't, you're doing that as a means of showing off your personality in a highlighting way.
For sure. When
you're
you
face tuning your personality in that sense.
Yeah, when you see a no makeup selfie from me, it also has my 3 other chins in it.
Yeah.
So.
That's why. Yeah, there's a streamer. Her name is Pokimane, and she got a lot of flack because people took unflattering screenshots of her from her Twitch stream, and she wasn't wearing makeup, and then she was like, no, like, look, here's me without makeup, but then she it was all like very like posed shots and like bright lighting, and it's like, no, you're still trying to make yourself look good.
And that sucks she was put in that position
It
though,
sucks.
too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like
for
that's
sure.
not fair.
I mean, women on Twitch or any platform are going
Any
to be
platform.
criticized a lot more
Yeah.
than guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all have to accept the reality that we all look ugly sometimes, and it's totally okay. Like, I have no shame about that. When I have no makeup on, I look like a tiny little Asian boy because I'm half Korean. And that's just what I do, and my husband loves it. He loves the little Asian boy side and
great.
the super glamorous side of me, because that is who we are. There's lots of
Your husband's
aspects.
listening to this podcast being like, Sarah, what are you saying?
He's Italian.
he's
He's legit
Italian.
Italian.
Is this where we start doing 10 minutes of imitating Claudio?
I've been working on my impression of Sarah's
Well, we got to
husband,
give them a little
Claudio.
background.
Okay,
He
yeah,
isn't
okay.
like. Okay, so my husband Claudio.
He's an Italian fisher she found on the port of Venice.
I used to be a mermaid, and I sold my soul
She was
for
out.
legs.
She was finding herself in Italy, like a typical
He was
Julia
trying
Roberts
to,
movie.
He was trying to find a green card.
She read Eat, Pray, Love and just took it way too far. She was out in Venice, and he was out fishing, and just goes, "Hello, beautiful woman. You're so gorgeous."
Yeah, that sounds exactly Claudio.
My
Are you-
impression is getting there. It started off just kind of like Spanish.
You guys are very good at him saying my name, though. That's
Yeah.
he's like.
It's the only thing I
Sarah.
really
SaRaH
hear him say.
Whittle.
I don't think I've ever heard Claudio say anything else other than SaRaH.
Sarah.
He can speak English.
No, I've never heard him speak
He
ever.
just says Sarah. You just understand his language. He's like a Pokemon. He
He's
just says
Groot.
your name
Yeah, he's Groot.
over and over again.
SaRaH Whittle.
Sarah Whittle. Sarah Whittle.
He's
SaRaH.
You toss him a treat. He's like, no. Sarah.
He's gonna love this. He's gonna love.
He's
this.
really the greatest guy.
And then at a bar where it's loud, it's like, SaRaH! SaRaH!
Sarah.
It is like that all the time. But
Yeah.
he barely responds to when I call him Claw. Like, I'm like, Claw.
Well, that's
Claw,
because that's weird.
Claw.
You shouldn't call him Claw. I don't think that's a good name.
Claudio.
He only responds to Sarah. You have to say your name. And he'll be like, huh? Sarah? Sarah Whittle?
He's the sweetest
Do I have a
boy.
doppelganger here?
He's the
See, I
sweetest
can't-
boy.
I
And
can't
it's a real marriage. It is a real marriage.
It's not a fake marriage?
Not a
It's
shame.
not
What
a
was...
fake marriage.
Not a green card marriage?
Not a green card marriage.
Oh.
It's
But
a
it-
real marriage.
But there was a time limit, right?
Well, okay, so he is an immigrant, and so we had to go through the marriage process, and we had to get lawyers and everything, because they actually interview you to see if you're a legit couple. So a part of getting his green card is the interview, and so the lawyer actually gave us test questions, because they will ask anything.
What are they? Are they intense?
Some are intense and then some aren't intense at all. And so they want to figure out, they have like a representative there from the government interviewing you. You have to bring pictures of you guys together. I had to bring social
okay, that
media
makes
posts
sense.
from like 2 years ago.
Because you have to
lease
prove
agreements.
that you are in love,
Because
have-
I
right?
we have
guess
to
like
prove-
technically somebody could pay you off, and then you could pretend like you're married for 3 years or
Exactly,
2 years.
and
or
that
whatever.
happens. That
Yeah,
does happen.
yeah.
And actually, my mom, because she's Korean from Korea, they had to go through the same process too. And my mom and dad...
She had to dig into her Facebook photos from
Yeah.
1963.
So obviously they're testing, like, they want to make sure you've been hanging out for a certain amount of years. But are they also testing, like, you're in love? Like, this is real?
It kind of is, yeah.
Or is it like, no, because you can just hang out with... It's like, hey, if we arrange this, we'll just live together and go do stuff for 5 years.
They're not like, make out in front of us, we'll see if it's hot or not. Like, they're not like that.
That would be my test.
Why are they all... Your interviewers from the Blue Collar Comedy Tour.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's see if you're really in love.
Make out.
But some of the questions
French.
All right, make out? Nice. All right, the interviewer's ready to see you. I'm just the secretary.
Oh, yeah, I like that. You guys look like you're real in love. They ask questions like, have you met each other's parents? Questions like that. What do you like about each other? But then they're also like, what color is her toothbrush? What does she wear to bed? What side of the bed does she sleep on? And sometimes they'll separate you guys during interviews. I think if they feel like it's really sketchy, they'll like put you in separate rooms, make sure you have the same story.
Is it like a YouTube video and you each draw the thing on the whiteboard and you're like, what do I wear to bed? And you both hold up the sign, you're like, boxers, silly.
It's the newlywed game,
The
but
newlywed game.
legal with
But
the
you
law.
die if you lose.
Yeah, so we had to go through that whole interview process, and it was...
How did you do? Like,
I mean,
90%?
We failed. No, I'm just kidding. We succeeded. The guy at the end was like, okay, I believe you guys. You guys should have, like, the paperwork and your green card coming soon.
You both answered Sarah Whittle for every question. Sarah Whittle.
Sarah Whittle.
Sarah Whittle.
Yeah, but we were both very nervous because also the lawyer was telling us that if you get someone who's in a bad mood or someone who's just a little more strict
or just jealous of your love
or just jealous,
honestly,
and just thirsty and sad, no.
Or someone who falls in love with Claudio at first sight, which is very possible.
Also, like, I'd imagine, like, I'm sure when they're hiring these people that are doing the vetting, I would assume that they make sure that they're not racist, but like if they're deciding like which like nationalities of people are
well, yeah, and that makes it more difficult too.
Because obviously, like, a lot of people like have probably different sort of preconceived notions of when it's a certain like ethnicity coming.
Well, my parents, when they went through the interview many decades in the 80s, my mom was in the interview with me in her arms. And the guy was, like, hitting on my mom in front of my dad and questioning if it was a real relationship. And my dad was like, it took everything to, like, for me to not just, like, kick his ass. And it sucks because that he was the decider in their relationship.
Such a position of power.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and it's
sucks.
like so scary.
That's scary as hell. Dude, what?
But obviously my parents' marriage is real because they're still together.
Yeah.
30 years later, 32 years later.
Hell yeah.
Well, you go through something like that, it's like, we're going to stay together.
Were you born here or?
I was born here.
Okay.
But I think they were probably on like a fiance visa. This is like all stuff that you learn throughout this whole process. So because they had met in Korea, obviously, like many military.
Why is that obvious?
Because a lot of military guys, my dad was in the Air Force, they get stationed in Korea. So they met in Korea. There's a lot of half Korean babies that are military brats. And he proposed her very quickly because he had to come back to the U.S. And they moved here and had me like 2 years later, and I had to go through the interview process then. So.
Oh
wow.
Yeah.
My dad was stationed in Korea probably a few years after him.
Yeah. We've talked about that. Yeah. But your dad was a pilot, and my dad was like a military cop. So maybe they wouldn't have.
Your dad would have been trying to catch my dad doing bad stuff. Hey, you're doing bad stuff. My dad's like, I'm going to get in my jet and fly away. And your dad's like, you get away this time.
All they gave me was this baton.
That's how the military works.
No, he had a gun.
No, he had lasers.
He had lots of guns.
Many guns.
He actually was in charge of the armory at some point in Wyoming, which was like their cabinet of weapons that they had.
Oh, that's right. You're from Wyoming. You're from nowhere land. You're the only person
I'm sure
from
all of
Wyoming.
our listeners in Wyoming, all two of them.
Listen,
and they're both elk.
We will see that Wyoming bump after this. I tell you what.
Even if we got everyone in Wyoming could listen to this, and we'd still be like, man, these numbers are not great.
It would not reach the numbers of Ear
Biscuits. It's a very low population.
I think it's around 500,000.
That's
people.
literally the size of like the city that I grew up in.
I think that's like our block we work on.
Yeah,
Crazy.
literally.
There probably is that statistic where it's like there's more elk than humans.
There are, that is a
Or
statistic.
deer.
If the elk decide to have an
Rise
uprising, which they are planning,
They're huge.
humans are screwed.
They're huge.
And moose, if they get the moose on their side too, and the
down
deer.
come down from Canada.
Oh, moose are there.
They're there. Yeah.
Moose are there.
No, they stopped them at the border. They're like, we don't trust you, moose.
They're like, what's this all about, eh?
This is how slow news is in Wyoming. Is one day a moose was like on the front lawn of the library, and it made like the front page paper.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
What's the lamest news that you ever?
Oh, this is how I knew. I was like, because I've always wanted to be in media. I used to want to be in television, like television news or reporting or something like that. And I knew I had to leave Wyoming because they had done a report on how hot the slides get in the summer.
Yo, that's real though.
And the guy like touched a slide and was like, it can get up to 98 degrees.
Oh no!
And will burn your child.
98 sounds like kind of lovely. Isn't that like that's like the temperature?
I don't know
of
what
your
burning
body.
temperature is. No, your body is 86.9.
Don't come here with the
No.
science.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah,
When you check your temperature in your mouth,
it should be 86
it's like
degrees.
no, it's 98. It's like 98.
I thought it was in the
98?
90s. I thought it was in the
Yeah.
90s. I always thought it was
Well,
in the 90s.
I'm just a cold-blooded bitch.
Why do you think the band was called 98 Degrees? All right,
Oh, because the hot bodies.
that's right.
Because it was
Nicholas
the normal.
Lachey is a moose.
All right, so Sarah, you know you're our age. You grew up in the heyday of boy bands. Mm-hmm. Which one? All right. So if you had to put it at NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, O-Town, 98 Degrees, how would you rank them?
Oh,
Well, we got to go Backstreet
damn.
Boys because we saw them.
Yeah, I actually, like, not just because we saw them in Vegas, but because they were the best. I really enjoyed Backstreet Boys because they were all little, you know, what? They were all a little, like, weird looking, which I've always
Backstreet
enjoyed.
Boys?
Yeah, they weren't so generic.
Yeah, because NSYNC only had Chris Kirkpatrick, who was a little weird looking.
Yeah, and Joey Fatone was like Joey Fatone, and so it's like
True.
the Backstreet
Timeless.
Boys. I loved Kevin and AJ with the tall, dark, and handsome facial hair, and when we
You were an AJ stan?
dude, I was an AJ stan. I was always a stan for anything that was like less popular.
Yeah, AJ was the worst for sure.
Because I didn't like just.
Like if anyone,
I never am jumping on the bandwagon.
You just felt
with
bad.
if any
for
of
him.
them are on Megan's Law, it was definitely AJ.
But didn't he carried the concert, AJ?
Really?
When we went to the concert in Vegas like a month or two ago, he carried the concert.
It's because nobody likes him, so he's trying extra hard.
Or maybe he's the
Like
only one
if
with talent.
you're Nick Carter,
Ooh.
you're just looking like a snack. Like you don't need to work that hard. For the
Yeah,
love.
exactly.
that-
You don't need to have the talent if you're looking like a snack.
Right.
Yeah, it's a weird one because I feel like with the other boy bands, the most talented was kind of leading it, right? Like NSYNC,
Justin
JT
Timberlake,
led it,
yeah.
and then later on with One Direction, I feel like Styles
Yeah.
carried it. But I don't know.
But like the
I don't know my
difference,
stuff.
the difference with One Direction is they all split off and had amazing careers.
They really crushed
most
it.
of them, yeah.
Well, I mean, they've all had
They've
careers.
had-
Only
a
three,
career, yeah.
four of them have had like hits afterwards.
Yeah.
I feel like they've all had hits. Am I wrong?
I don't know much about them.
Yeah. Going back to Backstreet Boys and Vegas in particular. So Sarah,
He's gonna yell at us.
You, what exactly?
He's like, I'm bringing this
Gonna
up
get
to
a
yell at
talking
you,
to.
Sarah.
So you had a party out in Vegas, Sarah. What was it?
It was my birthday
It was
party.
your birthday party. And you invited Shayne
Yeah, it was great.
and several other people, and I was at home and looking on Instagram. I was like, wow, I know all of these people that are having so much fun in Vegas.
Matt Robb was there.
Why was I not invited?
Matt Robb was there. Yeah. I think I did invite you.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure I invited you and Courtney. And it wasn't like an official invite because this is the thing. I don't ever want people to feel like they're obligated to do something big like that, and I have a weird thing of like, even when no,
Okay,
even
I just love this, like, hey, I'm having my birthday party. You don't have to go.
It wasn't.
You please, you don't. I'm just saying, like, no pressure. You don't.
I have a weird thing. It's
Please
like I
don't
don't
go.
want to ask too much of people. I don't want to ask too much of people, and I don't want to be like, if you don't come, then you're not my friend. I'm always like hey, if you want to come, let me know.
Right.
I would like to have you there, but
Right.
like I'm not gonna force you to go there.
There is
for
that.
those listening, Ian has a tear rolling down his cheek.
So I might have like casually invited you.
It was so casual that you didn't speak a word of it to me.
It was so casual that you were talking about it with someone else. I walked up and then you stopped talking and you shushed the other person.
So what are you guys talking about?
I
Huh?
f***ed up. I f***ed up. I'm sorry, Ian. You're definitely invited next time. For what it's worth, we had a great time.
Good.
It was amazing, and
I know,
that's the tea.
I watched the Backstreet Boys concert from like 5 different Instagram accounts.
Yeah, we all did just.
Steve Zaragoza's, he just kept zooming in on weird dads who were not that into it.
Yeah, that
So
was.
good.
I actually enjoyed that.
It
the
was
most.
a very solid group.
I feel like because the people just talking about the weird dads that were at the concert. Like I think a lot of those people that go to those concerts, they just get those shows like comped from like Vegas things.
We were so confused because it was us, Claudio, 2 of my friends, Elliot Morgan from the Valley Folk, Steve Zaragoza from Valley Folk, his girlfriend, and then Grace Helbig and Matt Robb. And so it was like a big group of us, and Grace and I were next to each other during the concert, and there was just a dad in front of us sitting the entire time. And of course, Grace and I are dancing the whole time, screaming and shouting and crying and everything. And this guy was just scrolling on Instagram.
Why would you go to a concert if you don't enjoy it? Like, just leave.
Just go to the casino. I had a friend on the trip that he was not into it, so he just didn't come, and he just met up with us later because Vegas is like Disneyland for adults. Like, you can find something to do for 2 hours.
I would say Vegas is the Vegas for adults. It's kind of a trash heap.
I
honestly
don't love Vegas that much. I like if I'm with a group of friends. Like, I enjoy hanging out with friends and stuff. But overall, Vegas, I'm just not a big gambler.
Yeah.
I think it's because I just have luck when it comes to gambling.
No,
I have really good luck in almost all other areas of life. That's the area where I'm like, I just can't.
I think everyone has luck because it's luck.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I did win like $3,000 when
say
I
that.
went there
Don't
for
say
my
that
bachelorette
Don't
party.
say that on this. Don't encourage people to
But this
gamble.
is the thing. No, I will say I don't love Vegas. Vegas is one of those towns that you have to make it what you want it to be.
Right.
So it's like, I'm not going to be wearing heels and a tight dress and like go to the clubs. Like, I am wearing sweatpants and getting free drinks and eating at buffets and hanging out with my friends, doing karaoke. Like, it really is what you make it.
Yeah.
You very clearly see the 2 types of people at Vegas when you're walking around there, because you'll see people who are wearing suits, dressed up. It's 7 a.m., but they're dressed up like that. But there's always that guy who's wearing
the shirt with the tuxedo print on it,
or just a shirt that's got a fish on it or whatever. Like, just some like, what are those, the Cabellos?
Tommy Bahama,
like a Tommy Bahama shirt, or just
like the vacation dad
like
shirt.
they clearly got like a shirt at a gas station. They're wearing shorts and flip flops. They're walking around right next to those people with the tuxes.
I think one of the big issues with Vegas, apart from the fact that it just simply shouldn't exist. I mean, it's a giant city in the middle of the desert where there's no it shouldn't exist in the first place. It's also just like, I think people have the wrong idea of Vegas, and they come there and they're like, Sin City, I can do whatever the f*** I want, treat everyone like and so you
I'm God here.
So you get a lot of just like really like bad.
But also you
people.
get, strangely, a lot of families. And I'm like, why?
I was brought to Vegas when I was really young.
Me too.
I don't get that.
And we accidentally went to a topless show with my
That's the
family.
thing.
That's awesome. See, I wish something like that had happened.
I
when
was 13 or
a kid.
14.
I don't know how they rebranded Vegas as a place to take your kids, because there's dudes standing on every corner handing you these cards with naked ladies on them.
Yeah.
And like everyone's drunk. Like,
It's not a family-friendly place. Like, it should only be
not.
like a 21.
Mainly because it's just not
and
fun
older
for
thing.
kids.
It's
When I was
not.
a kid, I hated it.
I hated it.
no vacation is fun for a kid.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
I had great vacations growing
There
up.
are such. My family didn't really go on vacation, but I think there are definitely vacations that are good. I mean, what if you go on a Disneyland vacation?
Yeah,
Okay,
we went on
fine,
Disneyland.
Or like you go to the Bahamas or something. That's a fun vacation. I think I
don't know. Like,
I went to Yellowstone with some family when I was a kid. I loved that. Like,
I loved
but also maybe I'm just
camping.
lame.
Yeah.
But Vegas especially because you kind of get dropped off at like they'd be like, all right, hang out here at Circus,
Yep.
the play place. There's a clown smoking a cigarette in the corner. You can talk to him. So yeah, I didn't get to do much, and you're not allowed to like walk through the casinos or anything.
No,
so
they'll
Yeah.
stop you
I'm like,
immediately.
this sucks. I hate this.
Don't bring your guys.
The
don't
food,
bring
though.
your kids.
Food is
to
the
Vegas.
food
insane.
in Vegas is really
That's
good.
really what you go for.
There's a lot of really good like Asian food out there.
So good.
The buffets.
They step
I
that.
love
They
buffets.
step that up. Food's great there. Mm-hmm. I think I've been to Vegas like 6 times, and I've never really had a Vegas experience. I've always been there for like some other reason, because people just don't invite me to like their friends' like birthdays. So I just I
Next
sit at
time,
home.
Ian. Next time we'll do
Oh,
it.
sure. I mean, I actually had another. This reminded me. This thing that you actually did invite me to. We did a little St. Patty's Day or pre-St. Patty's Day pub crawl, so we could
Yes.
instead be hungover on St. Patty's Day, which I think was a very good
Yeah, it
strategy.
was a
very
Saturday
smart.
celebration, so we could be okay on Monday.
And I was talking to one of your friends, and he's a guy that you met on some like meetup thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I think I'm Sarah's like best guy friend. and I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, yeah. And I was gonna say like, I was like about to say like, yeah, I guess I'm like Sarah. And I was like, wait, no, I'm not even Sarah's best coworker guy friend. I'm nothing.
Oh, come on.
Because I'm like, well, that's Shayne or it's Matt Robb. Ooh, who is it?
Ooh.
Well, I hate Matt Robb.
We're very different kinds of friends. I feel like.
Yeah.
but-
I feel like Matt Robb and I are the angel and devil on your shoulders.
So Matt Robb is kind of like my older brother. Like, he always is bullying me in the office. He's always making fun of me. He actually handcuffed me to my desk last week. So he's like my older brother troll. And Shayne is more like, we're just we're peers. Like, you're my twin. He's like my twin.
We're the same person.
We're the same person.
You guys wear the same makeup.
If I don't wear makeup, then I look like a little Asian boy. Just like Sarah.
No, him and Shayne and I go from having very dumb conversations to very intellectual questions to just staring at each other in silence.
Really?
With anger.
With anger, just
With anger.
like flipping each other off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Ian, you're a very close friend of mine too.
Stop it.
Don't make you.
But Ian, you're president.
Yeah.
That
right.
comes above all
you're
relationships.
kind of my boss.
Don't
Yeah,
forget
you're
it.
like a Jedi. You gotta
No, we've never actually spent a lot of quality time together, to be honest, Ian.
That's true. That's true.
Shayne and I have spent a lot of time because we did a lot of shoots together and all the summer and winter games. But you and I have never really had a lot of time to bond.
Never done a one-on-one.
I've been trying to get you to go to dinner with me for weeks now.
That's
Uh-oh.
not true.
It's
Sounds like
true.
this whole
I
thing is
have
your fault,
receipts. I
Ian.
have receipts. I
I'd like
have
to
texts on
see
my
that.
phone.
Wow.
You probably
Flipped.
have.
Yeah.
I'm
Turn
bad.
this around
I'm
on
so
you.
bad with text messages.
You're
Reminds me,
terrible.
I need to text my dad back.
I texted you. I was like, "Hey, let's go to dinner sometime," and you just went, "Yup."
Oh my God, you did!
He just goes, "Yup," and I was like,
Yup.
"Cool."
No.
Yup, dude. I don't know how I feel about texting yup. Y-U-W.
I don't know if
I
that's-
think it had a period on the end too, or
Yeah,
something.
I don't think
felt-
I don't think that just feels like you don't care.
That was the energy I got.
A yup
Hey.
or a yep is basically a no.
And I
Just-
hate people who end things with periods in texts like that are supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's hang out sometime. And they're like, yes, period. Well, that sounds fun. But
Oh
like,
no, I didn't say yep.
okay.
I said yes with an exclamation mark.
Oh, that's very different.
And then you said, cool, we'll do it. And then the next week you said dinner next Tuesday, and I didn't respond.
Wow. Flat out dinner ghosted.
I'm so glad we brought me on this podcast to just call each other out.
Yeah. But I feel like that's because we ended up like whatever we needed to talk about, we actually talked about here. Like we got some time to do a one-on-one.
And then we had fun on St. Patrick's Day.
We did.
Sorry, I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
You were dying.
I was at the Goldbergs rap
true.
party.
No, but then
and
you were
also
dying.
I was dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, last week, around like Wednesday, I started to feel some pain in my face. Like my right jaw, bottom teeth. I was like, I'm like, well, it's not feeling so good.
My
And I was
jaw's
talking
too
I think it was
beautiful.
on like Thursday. And meanwhile, I've been kind of gone the past couple of weeks. I've been filming on Goldbergs.
He's never here.
Yeah, Shayne decided. Well, let's hold on that. Go ahead and tell your story, and we'll talk about how you're never here.
Okay. So I'm filming on Goldbergs, but I'm also coming here to film some stuff. And I think I was here on Thursday, and I was talking to Sarah about I'm like, yeah, my face kind of hurts. I think I grinded my teeth in my sleep, and I think my jaw hurts. I think that's it. It'll get better. So Friday it's worse. But I'm like, it's fine. It's just my jaw. It's okay.
TMJ, too much jaw.
Yeah, too much jaw. And we were supposed to wrap the season on Goldbergs on Friday night, but we still had some extra scenes that I had to shoot on Monday. So we wrap, and I'm kind of hurting that night. I'm having trouble sleeping. Saturday, my mouth starts to really hurt, and it's starting to spread. So I'm like, that's weird. That's not normal, but I'll be okay because I hate the dentist so much, and I don't want to go. So Saturday night is the wrap party for Goldbergs, and I go and I meet up with, at 5 o'clock, we get dinner beforehand, and Olivia's there with Sam and a bunch of other cast, and I'm in enough pain there that I'm like kind of silent at dinner. I'm just kind of sitting there like, haha, this is a good time. We're having fun. And I get to
That's the worst.
And my mindset was also kind of like, maybe if I drink some beer,
I can numb
it'll
myself.
cure it. Like, like maybe that'll help. But I started drinking some alcohol, and that made it so much worse. My gums were immediately just like inflated like a balloon, and I was like, oh God, that's maybe one more beer will help. Maybe
Not recommended.
Another beer. Yeah, if you feel any sort of pain at all, don't drink anything. It's a bad move. But I wanted to go to this rap party, and I wanted to have fun because it's like, it's once a year, and it also might, we don't know if Goldberg is going to get picked up for another season, so I was like, I want to enjoy this with these people.
Yeah.
But
it
was so bad. I mean, the pain was getting so bad. I even got a chance to meet like a comedy hero of mine, Patton Oswalt, was like talking, because he does voiceover for the show. Mm-hmm. He was talking to me and some of the cast he's like, oh, you guys are great, whatever, and I was just like, kind of just looking at him. But not seeing anything.
You're just crying.
I eventually leave early. It's 9:30, and I'm like, I gotta go. And granted, the party started at like 6:30, super early for some reason. But I leave. I get home. I don't sleep from Saturday night until Sunday morning, or I don't sleep until Monday.
Jeez.
And I'm just writhing around in my apartment. It's getting so bad. It's the worst pain I've ever experienced in my adult life. My side of my face is throbbing. It feels like my lower right teeth are going to explode. Sunday morning, I have not slept. It's 5 a.m. I know my dentist doesn't open for another couple hours. I call them and I leave this like frantic message. And I'm like, meanwhile, they've been calling me the past couple of weeks being like, hey, you're due for a checkup. Like, make sure having regular cleanings will keep those cavities away. So I call them at 5 a.m. and I'm like, hi,
help.
Yeah, literally, it's like the beginning of a horror movie. Like, I'm like, my name's Shayne Top, and
You're like the guy that ate too much weed brownies and then called 911. He's
I think I'm dying.
I think I'm dead.
I think I'm dead. No, I'm not kidding. My message was probably like that. I'm like, I'm having a lot of pain in my face. I need an appointment today. I need to come in today. And if they were going to call back and be like, I'm sorry, we have no appointments, I was going to go to the ER because it was that bad. I'm not kidding. It was so, I was like, holy God. If someone said, I wanted to jump off a bridge at that point. I was like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. They call back, and I had to go. I had a 6 a.m. call time. So I went and I shot Goldbergs, and I had a scene where I had to be like super jovial and happy.
Oh, God.
And in between cuts, I'm just off to the side, just holding my face. They call back and they're like, yeah, we can do 1:30. And I was like, great. And then I get home at 9:30, and I call them back and I go, I need to come in now. And they're like, okay, yeah, we can see you now. And they're walking distance from me, so I ran there. So they must have been like, yeah, we can see you right now, so please come over. Hang up the phone and
Door
burst open. I'm just like, yeah, I'm here. Please. And they get x-rays done. And I mean, I'm just like, please, whatever it takes. And they're like, yeah, so this tooth towards the back, the nerve is dead and infection is spreading across your face.
Oh my God.
And they're like, yeah, you need a root canal right now. And I'm like, great, let's do it. I've never been so excited to get a root canal. And so, yeah. That I got a root canal and now I'm on antibiotics and I'm doing better. But that was awful. That was the worst.
Yeah.
That was the absolute worst.
I've never experienced like really bad tooth pain, but that frightens me so much. Also because I don't like making phone calls. I don't like making appointments. So like
sounds real hardy and
I don't know what it is.
I get it. I do too. I'm
there's like a block.
Can I schedule online? Can I do that? Yeah.
But also making phone calls nowadays, you're kind of crazy.
You're weird.
You're weird if you call like this is changing the subject, but if you get a girl's number and then instead of texting her first, you call.
God.
You
what
call
are you,
her
a
and be like,
psychopath?
"Hey,
Oh my
this is
God.
Shayne. We met at the thing the other day. Like, thought I'd call and just see if you'd want to get dinner sometime." No, you're a psycho.
I
I
wouldn't know
agree.
what to do.
I completely agree.
If it was somebody I just met and they called me.
When people call, like, you need to give a heads up before a call.
I think it was just I feel like we just entered into this world at a good time because I didn't like phone calls when I was growing up.
Yeah, same. I've never liked it.
Hated it. And my mom and my grandma, they'll like if you get the two of them on a phone, they will not stop talking ever. And I never liked it. So I went without going to the dentist for like 5 years.
Because you didn't want to call them.
Because it's not that I hated the dentist. I think dentists are great. But I just never, it just never struck me that I needed to make an appointment. And then it wasn't until my ex was just like, I made an appointment for you. You're going. I was like, great. And then I like went in the dentist and I'm like, yeah, I'm finally going to find out how f***ed up my teeth are from not going 5 years. And I had like 4 cavities.
Oof.
And I was just so excited to like just get it done. And then they're like, you're going to have to come back in 3 months. I was like, great. But like, because I was already there, I could just make the appointment.
Just schedule the
but
appointment.
if I had to call and make the appointment, like it just takes me so much longer. Yeah. Like I feel like the skin on my hand is falling off and like I need to see a dermatologist.
I do too. I have like 4 things I need to go to the dermatologist for. And I'm just like,
just wait till they all rack up and then just pile it onto them that once.
Exactly.
That's what I did last time.
I just hate billing. I hate when it like with health, anything like doctor's appointments, dentists. I just hate it when it comes to billing.
Well, it's expensive, man.
To live.
Even with insurance, it's
super
expensive because we're Americans.
Freedom might be free, but our medical isn't.
I have a friend who like she went to Prague for film school and she came back like for a visit recently and I was like, so yeah, you're gonna move back to like work on films here in LA? And she's like, honestly, it's really nice having free healthcare. I think I'm gonna just stay in Prague. I was like, wow, all right.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was in the hospital, I was talking to a nurse and she was talking about how and you'll understand this probably because you probably heard some great stories from Claudio. She was in Italy and she was on a Vespa. And she's like a big motorcycle person or something. She fell off her Vespa and broke her arm. And she went to the nearest hospital. And they said, well, we're a private hospital. We're not the public hospital, so it's going to cost a little more. And she was like, well, I'm not going to like drive across
with a broken
town
arm.
with a broken arm, so I'll just bite the bullet and have my arm set here and cast and everything. So
how much would it
she had her
cost?
arm set, cast, everything out the door, €150.
Which is about $170.
Wow.
And that was the expensive
That'll cost
hospital.
an espresso.
Yeah.
Espressos are like $1 in Italy.
Yeah. My root canal's a little bit more than that.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Well, we're glad you're here and you're alive and you don't have an infected head. Congratulations.
And I'm finally like back. I've been kind of MIA for a couple weeks.
Yeah, like with you just had so many different things. It was Goldberg's, and your head was falling apart. And
it was mainly Goldberg's, and then I had to take Monday off because of the teeth. So I almost came in, but then I was texting Sarah.
I was yelling at him.
I was like, I was thinking I maybe come into the office, but I don't know. And I was like fresh out of the root canal.
It was like 10 a.m. and I saw him doing bits on Instagram. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
I hadn't been active in a while. Going back to the Instagram thing, I was like, I haven't posted in forever.
But he was like, even the week
I also saw an
previously-
opportunity because Joe Beretta told me, he's like, you should do Instagram stories right now while you're numb.
Yeah, while
And
you're
it's
recovering,
true.
you should work.
Well, that's very Joe Beretta.
Yeah.
It's the most Joe Beretta thing.
He's like, you're suffering. Use it.
Yeah. Use it for your
Use
art.
your pain. They were great Instagram stories, though.
They were.
I didn't even watch them. I just
You were just mad.
immediately started momming you and being like, relax. You said you were tired the last couple of weeks. Just relax, stay in bed, Postmates food.
Yeah. So if you guys don't see Shayne in videos for like a month, it was because he was on Goldberg's. It was literally like every day we filmed, you were at Goldberg's, and we're like, okay, we think we can get you in here, and then like day before, you're like, Goldberg's called, and
the schedule would change so much. In the final couple episodes of Goldberg's, the writing kind of catches up to them because like they're trying to stay ahead.
Yeah.
But in those final 2 weeks, it's hard. So scheduling gets crazy, and they're often figuring out the schedule day of.
It's so nuts to imagine. Like you see those shows, and you just assume that it's all written beforehand and it's all planned out, and then they go and shoot it. But they're literally making rewrites on the day.
Yeah,
which is
very often
insane.
I was bummed though. I was bummed to miss the Zachary Levi "Try Not to Laugh."
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
very
And
bummed.
you missed some pretty good fan fiction.
I know. I was
Yeah.
very, very bummed. I had a good joke, or not a good joke, but I had a joke prepared for Zachary Levi. I was gonna walk out, I was gonna face away, and I was just gonna yell, "Shazam! Oh no!" And then I was gonna turn around, and you will have seen that I peed my pants, just drenched my pants, and I was gonna be just like, "Did I say it wrong?" I think that would have gotten him.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very
And then
good,
I'd have been
Shayne.
like, "You're my favorite pizza place," right to his
Not-
face. Then I would have hit him.
He's a lot more
He was great.
handsome
He's
in
so
person
tall.
than I thought he was going to be.
I saw him at the
know.
gym a few years ago,
He's a massive
and I was like,
person.
"Sup, Zach?" He was like, "Sup, Shayne?"
He is massive. It's always weird, like when you see like a movie star, a television star that's like
They're usually
tall.
smaller
Yeah.
than you think. Like, you know, like Tom
But
Cruise
Chris
is
Pratt and him are...
Yeah, they're massive people. Like, Zachary Levi could be like a pita around you. He could just fold in half and be a pita. I just stood next to him and I was like, oh my God, it's so nice to just be next to a tall man like that.
Sarah, I'm listening.
Well, Claudio's tall
Do not
too.
talk
Yeah.
about another man. Wow,
Sarah
what was
Whittle.
that? I'm sorry. I can't say anything other
Shazam.
than Sarah.
Shazam!
Shazam.
Shazam.
Shazam. The penne pasta with the Shazam.
Very good.
Now I'm starting to wonder if this is just racist.
No, actually, I took Italian classes before our wedding.
So she's
because-
Italian. Don't worry.
I'm Italian. No.
She can say whatever she wants.
But every
now.
time in class, I tried to be like chill with the pronunciation because I didn't want to like seem offensive.
Yeah.
He was like, no, more.
Like
More. So like the more you're actually like sound like you're making fun of Italian words, like you're pronouncing it completely correct.
Right.
Yeah, they're passionate.
They are very
It's a
passionate.
romantic language.
That's funny. So just the more stereotypical you go, the better it is. So if you're like, bastardo, then
Yes.
Sarah Whittle.
Yeah, exactly, guys. You guys are nailing it.
I'm looking at this. We just have a little list of things to possibly keep on track. And,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you added a couple things on here that I don't know what it's referring to. The story of Muff.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think I'm wondering if this. Okay, no, it's.
It was a couple years ago.
I actually think this started before. So for those of you who don't know, I do a character called Courtney freaking Miller on a lot of episodes where I just wear a Courtney Miller type wig and I just yell a lot.
And the story came out of Courtney was sick during
Yeah.
a seriously super stupid sleepover shoot. And so we were like, well, what can Shayne do it? And then Shayne was like, can I put on a wig and be Courtney Miller? And we were like, okay.
And I kind of I play that character. I'm going to lean back really far. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm just talking like this. I'm crazy. But anyways, where that actually kind of started, that voice and everything, was I was talking to Sarah once how I'm like, yeah, sometimes when I'm driving, I just like yell. I'll just be yelling a lot. I'll just be like, because like in the morning I'm tired, so I'll be driving down the street and I'll just be like, yeah, motherfucker. and so we just started like yelling that at each other. And like it would be in the middle of a work day, and I would just walk up to her desk, and she'd be in the middle of working, and I'd just be like, sup, motherfucker.
Like, some
This is a violent workplace.
Yeah, I get bullied a lot.
It's said with a lot of love.
You do get bullied a lot, but it's
I
all
do.
out of love.
It's all out of love. And I've always been a girl with a lot of guy friends, and I've always been kind of like the target.
Boy.
I've been the target of a lot
You're like,
of
there's a
stuff,
lot to dissect
guys.
there.
I think it's because I laugh, honestly, because I think it's very funny.
I'm the same way. Like, getting roasted, I laugh at it.
I think it's so great. A good roast is so good.
Is that a defense mechanism from your growing up?
Shut up.
No, I'm a very happy person. I actually yelled at Matt Robb because I found a magnifying glass in like a green room here last week, and I like pulled it up to my eye, and I was like, "Look at my eye!" And he was like, "Wow, you're dumb." And I was like, "Wow, I'm enjoying simple things in life. F*** me, right?" I just like I think life is very fun, to put it very simply. So I like to laugh.
Yeah.
Live, love, laugh. Eat, pray, love.
Well, I think it also comes down to like,
See,
there's
okay, now I feel like bullying you is okay because you said that.
Yeah, that's not okay. Wow, I can't believe you said that.
Oh my god.
But I think it also comes from like, I think you're very confident in yourself. I like
Okay.
in certain aspects,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like nobody's fully confident in everything, but I think you're able to laugh at yourself because I think you're very aware of who you are.
Exactly.
So you're aware of like what's a joke. And like if
I don't see any purpose in reading into things, because it's like I'm the type of person that's like, if you're looking for that negative thing, you will find it.
Totally.
Sure.
So it's like, even if Claudio is like, you know, like, I like that shirt today, and if I look at that as like, why today? Why not every day? Why not? And that's where you go crazy, because you're just
True.
reading into everything that
very
everyone is
true.
saying, and you will find that thing. So if you're literally just taking it as it is, I think is much healthier and much happier.
for sure. Damn.
Because if you look for the positive, you find the positive. You look for the negative, you will find the negative.
That's very true.
I just don't go looking for anything. So.
Well, then you're never disappointed.
Exactly. that's my
Yesterday-
mantra.
He said, dead
Yesterday-
inside.
So yesterday we all saw Us.
Yeah.
Because we're now doing like Smosh outings as a family, which is very nice that people actually care about office culture now.
Yeah,
It's
we
so
never
much
had an
fun.
outing for like 4 years.
I like everyone here.
I do too. And yesterday we went to dinner before the movie, and I just sat around, and I honestly had a moment of like, I'm so happy. Like,
Yeah.
I just had a moment of like, I love all these people, and like, you guys are my family. I did have a couple of jobs in between, you know, leaving Smosh and coming back.
Yeah.
And I liked those people, but it's just like, honestly, coming here was like my first day. I like came in and I felt like I was coming home.
Yeah.
Like I gave everyone a hug, and it just like, it felt like family, and it was so nice.
It's very
And
cool.
so like we all had dinner. I was so happy.
Yeah, it's very great.
Where were you going with that, though? You said...
Oh, I was talking about
That's
Ian.
very nice. What is this?
No, Ian
for?
leans over.
Back
Because
to
I'm
me.
sorry, I'm bored.
Back to me,
what?
please.
Ian leans over at dinner before us, and he just looks at me dead in the eye and just goes, "Sarah, what's it like to love someone?"
Oh my god.
And I was like, what? Are you okay?
Because I was looking around, and several of us are hopelessly single people, and you and Claudio just seem so well matched together. You mentioned that you've never gotten in a fight with him, which I find that impossible to believe because you're crazy.
I'm not. I'm a very easygoing person in relationships. Really, I am, because I did grow the confidence. In my first relationships when I was younger, I was crazy because I was looking for things. And I
Yeah.
felt insecure in the relationship too. And like, when you feel insecure in the relationship, it's just not going to work. And it's
True.
like,
Right.
and
True.
if you're not confident in yourself, it's never going to work. So, but I won the lottery with Claudio because it was like and it sounds so dumb because I was a pessimistic person. I was like, I'm never going to date anyone in LA. Everyone's like a Peter Pan boy in LA. They just want like the hottest new thing and keep you at arm's distance. So I was fine. Concentrate on my career, just do it. And he came into my life, and all those people that say, when you know, and all those things, they came true. It was like, it just clicked. He's so easygoing. Everything that I thought a relationship could be, it was. And I was like excited about him. And so he's made it incredibly easy. Yeah. And I don't think I honestly would marry anyone else because I realized that in all of my other relationships, I never felt compelled to get married. Because I was like, I don't feel like I want to marry you. Like, I want to be with you maybe.
Yeah.
But with Claudio, even with the green card things, to keep him in the country. No, but I really felt like compelled to get married and wanted that future with him. So we don't know if we want to have kids or anything like that, but.
But at the beginning, like you were saying, like every time that you saw him, you were like,
thought
oh,
that
could be the last time.
Yeah, because his dating style, he grew up in Italy, so it was like in Italy, men and women, guys and girls are always friends. Like, they're always hanging out in big groups, and there's maybe no romantic things happening. And then eventually you might have a spark with someone and it grows into something more. In LA, especially, it's like, can I take you out on a date? Let's go on a date. Like,
Do you want to date? I find you very attractive.
And especially in LA, people are dating many people at the same time, and so maybe nothing serious is happening, but you're seeing multiple people. And so him and I, I was seeing a couple of people, and he was only seeing me. And so months after, we were like kind of casually seeing each other, but he was definitely like keeping me at arm's distance. He was like, am I the only one you're dating? And I was like, excuse me, what? So we had a big freak out, and that was probably like our biggest hurdle we had to get over. But at the end of the day, he just wanted to only date me. So that's not a bad thing at all.
You were making a face.
I think I was just laughing in my mind. That's the whole thing.
But I want to talk about you guys in dating, because it's like,
oh no,
I've talked to Shayne a bit about dating and everything like that.
Yeah, you've been a bit of a coach.
I have been.
You've been a bit of a sage for me. I have bad luck with it, and I'm not good with dating. I'm not good at it. I feel very I don't know. I feel very obligated sometimes. I think as soon as I start dating someone, and that's a lot of pressure for me because I feel like, oh, I owe this person. I need to explain. It's just a lot of pressure.
But also Shayne comes off as an extrovert. And he's very funny and he's easy to talk to, but you are actually kind of an introvert.
Very introverted.
In a big group, you're the quiet one. It took me a solid year to really get to know you and break through it. I think you are a very introverted person.
Yeah, because in a way, the loud, comedic, crazy person that I am is very much who I am, but there's other parts of me that it takes a long time for me to feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable not being funny sometimes. I have to do that or else, because then that's part of the obligation of I need to be entertaining. And it's when I go on a date, once I'm done with a date, I am so exhausted. It feels like I ran a marathon because the entirety of the date, I'm so worried about that person being bored that I'm trying to just
entertain,
do so much stuff, and which I've gotten better about because obviously it's a 50-50 thing. It should be.
It should bounce back and forth.
Yeah.
And it should feel like you're not putting on a show. Of course, first date, second date, third date, you are putting on a show. The first time Claudio and I hung out, I thought he was so self-centered and everything because he was talking only about himself and not asking questions.
Ooh, that's a no-no.
I recognize.
But he was just insecure. That's fine.
I recognize that with myself too, because I won't talk about certain things. There's certain things that I like. I'm like, oh, they won't like that about me. But then I'm like, why? I should bring that up then, because if they're not into it, I won't talk about the nerdy things I'm into on a first date. I won't talk about
what nerdy things?
Not that nerdy, but just video games or watching anime or something like that. I won't talk about that because I'm like, oh, they may not like that. But I'm like, if they don't like that, then we shouldn't
F
date.
Off, yeah.
And just my personality, if I'm not feeling like, oh, I've got funny jokes right now, if I'm just going to talk seriously, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there isn't.
But,
What about you, Ian?
Like,
what are you like on a first date? I'm very curious.
I mean, it differs. I mean, I like to banter with people, like especially people that I don't know. So like, I think sometimes it could come off as I'm like talking like, because I'll just, not that I'm like negging them, but like I like a little like push and push back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and too, like I totally agree. Like it's exhausting when you're just trying to do like the oh, where are you from? Oh, me too, blah blah blah, and it's like you're just struggling to find some way to relate to the person, and I hate that struggle, and I don't even really want to go there, and it just feels so cheap and pointless and just not authentic. So I just prefer to just like cut through that and just kind of
give them immediately.
Just get to like just banter. It's friendly banter, and like I hope I never like offended anybody.
Yeah.
What's up, you dumb idiot? Thanks for meeting me at Olive Garden, stupid.
But that is a bummer. Like if I'm throwing something at them, they're not throwing it back. I'm like,
yeah, it's hard to find someone with like the same sense of humor and that can keep up with you, because like I even dated a guy one time and he didn't know till like 3-4 dates. He was like, "Oh, you're funny." Like, and I was like, "Oh boy." Because you kind of have to do that boring crap in the beginning to just
I hate it.
I don't want to do it
so much.
You have to do it. It's boring. I mean, that's why Claudio,
it just doesn't feel genuine to me. And that's the issue. It's like I feel like I'm not being myself, and so I want to be as true to myself as possible and not put up a front that's not me.
It's not putting up a front. I think you're putting a foundation down for something more than just like giving each other
right.
And so it's like, as a girl or as a woman, I guess, when someone's like genuinely interested in who I am, and then I can feel relaxed.
Yeah.
Because it's like a lot of girls, and I even felt secure. It's like, why are we going on this date? Are you just in it because you're attracted to me? Or you just want sex? You want to pay for this and like be flashy? Like it's tough to go on a date as a female because you don't know what the motivation is.
Yeah, that's gotta be
scary.
scary.
And so it's hard to sit down and like open yourself up. But if someone honestly is kind of like sitting there and genuinely interested in who you are, that's a huge turn on.
Right.
Whether or not that ends in like a relationship or anything sexual, it doesn't matter. It's just you're making a connection then at that point.
I also don't like talking about myself. So like I enjoy hearing about like the other person and then just talking about stuff. But then when it gets turned on me, I'm like, like I was talking to one of your friends and she was like, so tell me something. I was like, so I just, and this was near the end of our little Patty's Day crawl. So I had a couple drinks and I was like, tell you something. Okay. We dropped more bombs in Vietnam than all the bombs that were dropped in World War II.
Wow.
And I was just like,
real charming.
I was just looking to just see what like her. She's like, no, like something about yourself.
Ooh, good on her.
I was like,
I'm sad.
I'm sad.
I'm kind of bummed.
yeah, I don't know. It's not.
You don't talk about yourself.
It's not
much.
fun to talk about myself,
doesn't.
and it's hard. And it's hard for me to talk about myself and what I do without like.
But you don't have to talk about your job or anything, like, because like working with you, there's a lot that I don't know about you either. Like it's fascinating because you're this very popular figure. A lot of people know who you are, but there, I think it was like after a year or so of knowing you that I was like, oh wait, you have a sibling? I didn't even know that.
I don't even know that. I just learned that now.
Yeah, you don't talk about stuff, and you don't, and it's not even just like facts. It's like feelings or just like I don't know. There's a lot that I feel like, and I mean it makes sense. I feel like a lot of comedians are that way, and a lot of us have similar vibes. I'm sure I'm similar in some aspects.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fascinating, man. Now
you
you're on a
should learn
podcast.
how to talk
you're on
about
a podcast,
yourself.
so you're gonna have to.
I know.
You're gonna have to talk about it all.
It's a lot easier for me to look out than look in. I think that's
You
what it is.
should look in.
Wow.
Everyone
I
should
should
look in.
man.
No, yeah, now that we got our health insurance, I'm going to look into a therapist. I'm actually pretty stoked for that.
Hey, look, I've been studying psychology for a couple of years. Well, 10 years. But I'm still trying to get my bachelor's. It's been taking my time. But like, I've only learned a few really valuable like things that I feel I can say, and one is that everyone should get a therapist.
I went to therapy when I was 13 or 14 because something pretty tragic happened to me when I was younger, and I did have, like, this is getting really deep, but I did have suicidal thoughts for like a hot minute, and I was really struggling when I was very young, and I went to a therapist and it helped me tremendously.
Yeah.
Like and that person's never going to like cure anything out of you, but I think it really helps to talk to someone outside of a situation and outside of yourself.
Do you feel like it gave you sort of like a tool set?
Yeah, it did. And it probably, it has made me the person I am today.
Yeah.
Because it helped me rationalize, my thinking. Like, sometimes your brain just goes into crazy land. Like, sometimes you're just like, oh my God, are people out to get me? Like, why is this happening to me? Like, my life is terrible. But it's all about like shaping your perspective and being able to like ground yourself.
Yeah, your own brain and mind is not always your fault.
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
With Ian, going back really quick, it's fascinating too, because since you were very young, your whole life has been so public. Right. Your life has been so in the public eye. And so in a way, for over 10 years, 13 years now?
Yeah.
For 13 years, people have felt that they know everything about you. Mm-hmm. But that might be why, to a certain extent, you keep a lot of things close to the chest.
Yeah, I think it would be really tough. I don't envy your position, because it's like, it's kind of nice when you meet someone new because they're new and you don't know anything about them. But obviously you're a public figure, so that's like a whole nother layer.
Because I relate to that, because I feel like when I was younger, I used to be better about opening up about that stuff. But the more and more I've gotten into this realm, the more that we finish a week of shooting, and I kind of just want to like go and sit in my apartment by myself and kind of close off, because it's like, I'm exhausted from showing so much that,
And I guess that's also why I'm just so bad at social media, because like, we put so much of it out there.
You're burned out
for what we're
right?
doing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to take my free time to show everyone what I'm doing,
because then it feels like it's taking over your life.
Yeah, and I think that also contributes to the fact that I haven't burnt out from this, like, because I do separate as much of my life off of Smosh from Smosh, and for other people, their entire life has to be their story, their Instagram story, or their YouTube story, and that's why you see people burn out, because they just can't separate.
Yeah,
it's always on.
Yeah, I think it's dangerous when every aspect of your life becomes entertainment for other people. Yeah. There are certain things that just need to be for you, and you should share those things, but in a very different manner, not as a means of entertaining someone else. Yeah, man.
Do you want to talk about Us?
The movie?
Us. No. Yes, the movie.
Well, let's not spoil too much.
Yeah.
But let's just say I liked it. I have a lot of questions, and I'm assuming that the internet's going to solve it for me. But I was just like, yeah, it's well made.
I think Jordan Peele has he's going to always face an uphill battle with every movie he makes.
Yeah.
Because going into it, I was expecting a movie with so many layers, and it has a lot of layers, don't get me wrong. It's still, you're going to get a Jordan Peele movie for sure.
You got to peel the layers.
You got to peel those layers like an onion. Shrek. Anyways.
Yes. You did the right thing there.
It all loops around to Shrek.
It's always about
It's
Shrek.
very similar vibes. Very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was saying earlier today that it's second album syndrome, where you have a lifetime to create your first album, and you have 2 years to create your second. No matter how good Us is going to be, it's always going to be compared to Get Out. It's just like what's the dude's name? Orson Welles, right?
Yeah.
He created Citizen Kane when he was 28.
I think he was 25.
25, whatever it was. Like he created
young.
one of the most influential movies ever, and he was
then what?
forever compared to
Chasing
that
after it.
movie until the day he died. It was like, oh, I hear you're making a new movie. Could this be the next Citizen Kane? Of course, it's not going to be the next Citizen Kane.
He
Citizen
lost his
Kane was
mind.
Citizen Kane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
He straight up lost his
That's
mind.
one of them. Oh, it's so. I'm sad to say it's hilarious, but also sad. The champagne commercial.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh man,
at that point
it's
he's
hard
just
to
like-
watch.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch how like so many like big celebrity legends,
Mm-hmm.
you'd think they have the best lives and they are the most miserable people. But it's kind of goes back to what we're saying, like the whole like if every aspect of your life becomes entertainment for everyone else, you lose everything.
and I think you lose reality. You
Yeah.
lose like what created the genius in the first place. I think
Yeah.
it's same with like Kanye West and stuff
Honestly,
like that.
it's got to be
It's
tough.
like-
It's got to be tough that you probably don't. You only have a handful of people who treat you like a normal human being, and then everyone else treats you like Kanye West. Whoa!
well,
you
they're all
can't-
yes man around you, and
Yeah,
then you
you
don't
can't
have anyone
trust
that's
anyone.
like, chill, dude, chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, and I feel like even with that knowledge, like if you would end up like meeting Kanye West or something, you would probably still end up acting just as everyone else. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just. It's
Yeah, it's
I went to
hard.
church with him on last Easter, actually.
Oh
Yeah.
hell yeah, dude! How
Yeah,
was
dude.
that? Shoot,
Oh, it was
dude.
And
Church?
even Jesus
Besides
showed up, and
fitting in.
he was like, Kanye West, whoa! Whoa, dude!
That's nuts.
Jesus,
Yeah. Jesus was in the house and Jesus that day.
dude.
Jesus and Yeezus.
They should collab.
It's a TBS show. Jesus and Yeezus coming to TBS. We know funny.
We're still on the air somehow.
I don't like scary movies.
Yeah.
It really like I don't like scary movies, but you know,
You should watch Hereditary.
no, I'm good.
I watched that by myself.
Nope.
That was a bad move.
Oh
Nope.
yeah. I'm not a fan of scary movies, and I was because we all went and saw it together. I was seated right in between Sarah and Courtney, and both of them were so freaked out, and it was very entertaining. Like I think Courtney. She just assumed the whole thing was going to be scary. She had her like arm on my arm for like the first 30 minutes, like just waiting for something scary to happen. And then I don't know, it's not like a scary movie.
It's similar to Get Out scary, right? Where you're like you said, you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh
Yeah.
God, oh God.
But I was expecting, because even in Get Out, you know, when they're driving and like the deer comes out of nowhere, I kept expecting like a jump
That type
scare
of
like
stuff.
that, and I just
Yeah, it's not a scary movie, and I'd say people should go see it.
they
Oh,
should
yeah.
go see it. Yeah,
For sure. For sure.
There's some pretty goofy stuff, and Winston Duke is hilarious.
He's
Yeah.
awesome.
The acting was incredible.
Lupita
though.
Nyong'o is, God, she's the best.
Visuals were
Love her.
incredible.
Yeah.
I love what Jordan Peele's doing with sounds.
Yeah,
Like he makes a rap music, like a rap song,
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
it's awesome.
So cool.
Yeah. Oh, hopefully Twilight Zone's good. He's doing that.
Oh, right. He's the
Yeah.
perfect person to do it.
Yeah.
Is it gonna? I wonder if the new Twilight Zone's gonna be kind of like Black Mirror, because like that's kind of what I would imagine a new Twilight Zone is like.
Probably. I mean, it'll be
maybe.
a non-technology
Yeah,
based
yeah.
Yeah.
Black Mirror. Black Mirror is Twilight Zone, but with technology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Black Mirror is, I feel like it's more about like, oh, here's the dark side of technology. Whereas Twilight Zone always had like some sort of moral to it. It always had some sort of message about human nature.
I want to finish this podcast with some funny news.
Oh my God, what?
Yeah. Okay. So the school is doing an active shooter training.
Oh
And-
boy.
Very funny. This is Ian
is-
funny.
And and so they like with these shooter trainings, which I never had as a kid growing up. It's like the sheriff department like goes in there and they pretend to be the shooters, and they go in and they were using airsoft guns in place of real guns, and then faked executing the teachers
Oh my
in front of people,
god.
but they were using loaded airsoft guns and shot the teachers like in the back of the head and injured the teachers.
What
Multiple
state is
teachers.
this?
Multiple.
Wait, so after the first teacher got shot, they were like, "Oh no, this is
I don't know.
how
Maybe
it's
they
supposed
lied.
to go."
That's
Maybe
terrifying.
Maybe
Where
they
was this
lined
at?
them-
Where was this
What
at?
state?
This was Indiana, I believe.
Okay.
God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Indiana elementary. Jesus, in elementary school.
Oh my god.
They said teachers were left with welts, bruises, and abrasions after they were shot with plastic pellets by the local sheriff's office conducting the session. And I read a comment yesterday that was like they should be doing some research on if these shooting drills are actually doing more damage to kids than good, because like it's like in the the 50s or the 60s,
They'll like get under your desk if a nuke
the tornado,
gets dropped.
fire,
yeah, and
causes
so, like,
more hysteria than anything.
yeah, and like you go to school every day wondering, am I going to get killed in a nuclear blast? Like, now and also I was thinking on the flip side, like, let's say you're thinking about shooting up a school, which I hope you're not.
Okay.
Wouldn't these drills be training you on what to do? Like, isn't that kind of like not smart to be showing exactly what everyone should be doing and where they should be going? Like, that's kind of,
what do they call it? It's a double-edged sword. It's like,
I just feel like the drill is probably the same for anything, which is like, I mean, it's kind of like an earthquake, really, and for many people, like, there's only so much you can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Besides like locking doors or whatever.
well, I think that's what they're doing. They're like, pile stuff in front of a door, or
but
like
for
make
an
sure
elementary
it's not-
school, like getting out, like, oh, that's, I don't know, man.
it
That's
just
traumatizing.
That's tough.
Like,
it is traumatizing, and it just sucks. Like it's unfortunate that we live in this time where that is an issue, because like for me, that's incredibly scary. And like even going through the drills, okay, it's good that we're doing drills, but it's so scary. Like,
yeah.
And it sounds like in this drill, it's not like, here's how you solve this problem. It sounds like they're just telling you how you're going to die.
yeah, and also like, why are they shooting them in the back of the head? Like, why are
Exactly.
they shooting the teachers
You
in the
don't
back
need
of the
to
head?
actually pull triggers.
These poor
That's
teachers, do they have to
crazy.
act like they're dying too then? Like it's like an acting
guess.
class as
Dude,
well?
that's nuts.
Yeah.
That's
Do you remember in
nuts.
8th grade? Like when
the shooting drill.
When the guy was like, "Bang, you're dead. Bang, you're dead," and I was like, "Jesus!" But
That's what they're
that's what
doing.
people are
That's what
doing.
they're
I guess
doing
like
now.
it's nuts, and I feel like if I was a kid, that would definitely give me more anxiety rather than
I'd be like, I don't
hearing
wanna go
about
to
the
school.
stories and being like, "Oh, this happened at this school, but it's not happening here." Like,
I'll be honest, that is a big reason why Claudio and I don't know if we want to have children yet.
because of school shootings.
No, because of
shootings and also
many
global
different
warming
things
and-
that are happening in current society and the world and everything with healthcare and global warming and all those things. It's like, is this a place that I want to bring a new life to, or am I okay with
understand
my
that.
3 cats? And for right now, I'm okay with my
Do
3
I want my kid to
understand
grow
that.
up in a Fallout type of situation?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just a hopeless optimist, but I feel like humans are always going to find a way. I'm not saying that it's okay that, climate change is definitely happening, but I mean, I definitely understand like the reason for not wanting to bring a kid into the
Also,
world
I don't
for
know
that
if I'm
reason.
ready for that responsibility. It seems very intense. We talked to the
Also,
people.
I don't want a kid.
It seems like a lot. Like I love my cats so much, and they were like, okay, well now your cats have to go to school every day, and then they go to college, and I'm like,
Now
no,
your kid has a bad attitude. Your cat has a bad attitude.
No, because my cat one time will run away from me, and I like the heartbreak I feel.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
tough.
I can't imagine like my son being like, "F you, mom," and I'm like, oh no.
But also like cats hate you. Like sometimes your kids hate you, so it is like good
It is.
training, right? Like,
Yeah, I guess so. My cats love me though, except
This is-
for the new one.
This is the second anti having kids podcast in a row, because I guess with Courtney and I were like, yeah, I don't know, like having kids, I don't know.
Well, it's not for everyone. Let's just
definitely
be
not for
honest.
everyone.
It's not
It's
for
definitely
everyone.
not for some of the people that have had them.
Exactly.
I don't know, if you feel like popping out one, I guess
To each
go
their own.
for it, as long as you're I would prefer you'd be like out of high school.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
like
Some sage wisdom.
maybe have
from
like some
Ian
of
Heacock.
some of your together, maybe
Love
like
it.
a little savings, perhaps.
And that's tough to have.
It's very difficult to have.
So some lessons we learned today: if you're doing an active shooter drill, don't shoot people in a drill.
Yeah, that would make sense. That's
so crazy to
what the
me.
drill is prepared to
So
prevent.
traumatic.
I learned something today.
What'd you
I'd
learn?
love to talk about this. It's very fascinating. Do you know that we dropped more bombs in Vietnam than in all of World War II?
What? That's so fascinating.
I know.
Let's
How'd you
date
hear
now.
I'm going to use that knowledge on a date.
I did read a fun internet fact the other day that made me very happy. Did you know some starfish have birth defects that make them square?
No.
That's
Yes,
so cute.
It's
Get
so
out.
cute.
Hold on. Let's. We're
A
just gonna
square
look at this real-
starfish.
Yo, Bobby, pull that up.
Our research guy.
Yeah. Whoa.
They're so cute.
Look at this
They're
little
so
guy
cute.
right here.
The square starfish. Look.
That's adorable. Oh my God.
A square biscuit starfish.
a little throw pillow.
It does.
throw pillow under the water.
Aw.
I'm gonna buy it.
God, I'm gonna lay
From West Elm.
lay my little head on it. I'm gonna go to sleep.
I'm gonna have little sweet dreams.
We should have more square starfish. I think that's what we can take away from this this podcast.
That's the joy.
We
of the
need
world.
more square starfish in the world. I'm guessing this is probably the result of Fukushima. So
Ian always, you do have a habit. You do kind of like on the party a little bit sometimes because it was like, I want to go to the Maldives for my honeymoon. He's like, you better go there before it's all underwater. And I'm like, thanks, Ian.
I mean, it's real.
It's like the grandpa in him.
Yeah.
Oh man, this iPhone's great. Well, I hope you like it because a starving child built it in another country.
Well, I'm
It's
sure
like,
you'll
all
have
right.
I'm sure you'll have a much better time than the people that are actually living in the Maldives.
Oh my God. Thanks for ruining my honeymoon.
You're welcome. Make sure you tip your waiter there.
These square starfish are adorable. I bet they're all have depression. All right, great.
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, Shayne, Sarah, thank you so much for coming on this lovely podcast of ours. And if you guys want to subscribe to the SmoshCast, you could do it on any of your favorite podcast platforms, or you could subscribe on YouTube. But guess what? You can't hear us say or turd.
Oh my God, you're not gonna get any of those
Yeah.
things.
Demonetized.
So I'm so
I don't
sorry.
say those anyways.
Yeah.
Turd.
And
Don't say that.
Yeah, be sure to subscribe, and we love you so much.